Hi, friends. I'm Dr. Tondi. I have a praise report to give, and I don't know why I've been reluctant to tell it. I've been coming up with excuses. It's too early, it's too late. Well, I am telling it anyhow. About a few weeks ago, I was in the middle of the boonies in Georgia doing Army training. And funny enough, we were simulating work conditions. Little did I know that a few weeks later, I would be in an actual spiritual and emotional battle. While I was doing my Army training, I barely had reception, but I got word that my dad was sick in the ICU, and which presented a number of challenges. One, I was in the middle of Army training on orders, so I couldn't really leave. Hey, I'm not sure who that is because I can't see. I'm on my cell phone. If you could say hi in the comments, then I'll know who you are. So one, I was on Army orders, so I couldn't go anywhere. And then two, I was in the United States of America and he was in South Africa, and I definitely had not budgeted for a last minute ticket. And he's been in the hospital before, but something felt different this time. Something, he's never been in the ICU before, but something said, no, you need to go. You need to go. And thank God he made a way for me to get to South Africa. Yes, and my prayer, I was just praying like, God, please just let me get there while he's still alive. Please don't let him die before I get there. And I am happy to report that I got here, that prayer was answered. I got here and he was alive. He was alive. He was in rough condition, but he was alive. And I went straight from the airport to the hospital. At the time, he was unconscious, but I have been reading this phenomenal book called Meeting God at the Door by author Kellen Flukiger, if you can spell that or say that 3 times fast. And I remember him talking about how because he had been in a coma for a while, and he had talked about how even though when he was in a coma, he still had some awareness of what was going on. So I said, I don't know if you can hear me, but I still talked to him, and I told him I loved him, and I prayed with him, and I actually read to him from that book, and I was so happy that I got to see my father again. Even though he was unconscious and not responsive, I was so happy that I got to be with him. And if that wasn't challenging enough, next thing I know, we have an announcement from the president of the country on TV. Oh, the rates of COVID were rising, so they shut the whole country down. No, nothing. And no visitors in the hospital. So you can't imagine how, after finding a way to get there and finally getting there, traveling 30 hours and going through so much trouble and potentially a legal battle, whole other story. I finally got there and I was able to see my dad, but now I couldn't visit. I literally was crying at the door of the hospital because they wouldn't let me in. I was a doctor and they wouldn't let me in. Let's see. Oh, Dr. Salworth is here, and Lisa. Hey, Lisa, I miss you. So I tried everything I could to get in that hospital. They would not let me in. Now, fast forward or rewind a little bit. Around this time last year, I watched this video on YouTube by a woman named Shannon Yvette, and she gave a prophecy that for whoever this prophecy was for, it wasn't for everybody, but that they were going to experience a radical shift or miracle within 3 days. Within 3 days. And at the time when I heard that prophecy, I felt like this is a prophecy for me. And there was a lot of things that I needed in my life at that time. And I prayed and I fasted for 3 days, and in 3 days, things shifted radically. So I can say for sure that I have seen the power of prayer. Anyway, fast forward a year later, the woman, Shannon Yvette, she decides to repost the same video from last year. And I listened to it again, and something in it just resonated with me, and I felt like I should go ahead and ask for a 3-day miracle. For you guys that know, of course, Jesus Christ was raised in 3 days, right? Crucified in 1 day, and on the third day he rose. And I was praying for a 3-day miracle with my father. And after the first day, that's when the hospital shut down. No visitors happened. And I was so sad because I couldn't even go in. I couldn't even go in and pray with him. I couldn't lay my hands on him. And I felt so discouraged. And probably for a day, I just moped around in my pajamas. That was the first day. Second day, I decided, you know what? I'm not gonna mope. I'm going to believe and trust in what I want. I'm gonna get up, take a shower, get out of the house. And in fact, I was going to do some touristy things. Unfortunately, all the touristy things were shut down too. So the second day, nothing happens. Nothing, I don't hear anything, nothing exciting. It was just like a day. It was really quiet. And then the third day, that was the third day, I was like, okay, God, this is it. I'm believing you for a 3rd-day miracle. Jesus rose from the dead in 3 days. If you can raise the dead, you can get my dad out of the ICU. And one of the things that happened that day, the first thing in the morning, I had gotten a prayer, an audio message on Facebook Messenger from a woman that I don't even really know, but the prayer was so powerful that it moved me literally to tears. And I felt, wow, that somebody who doesn't even know me will go through all this trouble just for me. I was completely touched and moved, and it just helped to strengthen my faith and to be encouraged that, you know, God can use anybody to do as well. And so I was feeling encouraged. I was believing, and then later on that day, I got word that we were granted special permission to visit my dad in the ICU. Special permission. Oh my gosh. You don't understand. I am one of the most resourceful people I know. I tried everything I could to get into that hospital, and nothing worked. I cried, I tried logic, I tried reasoning, I offered to get another COVID test. I tried everything, and nothing, that could not get in that hospital. And now, with no effort on my part, I was granted permission to go and visit him. And so I got to go and visit my dad. Thank God. Praise God. I was so excited. And not only that, whereas the first time when I visited, he was completely unconscious. When I walked in the door, his eyes were open, and he couldn't talk. He had a trach, the breathing tube in his neck, but he was blinking on command, and I could see he could understand what I was saying, and I could see that that he was happy that I was there. And then he winked at me, and that was the best wink that I have ever gotten in my life. And I am just so grateful. And on top of that, not only that, the doctor said that with all the metrics, they were helping to get him off the breathing machine. His blood work looked better, and he was doing better. So I am here to testify that that there is a God, and He does hear our prayers. And I am just here to say thank you for answering my prayer and for allowing me the opportunity to see my dad one more time, and for helping to heal him and make him better. And I just felt the need to share this story. I don't know if this will encourage anybody, but God does hear our prayers, and He does answer. Not always in the way that we hope, but He does hear us. So thank you guys for listening, and I will talk to you soon.